Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Prankur Arora, and as she said, as she read out rather, I'm 23 years old, and I'm a writer, speaker, and essentially an improviser, right? And Gilded Solutions is a corporate training entity that I co-founded a few months back, and Many Fewords is our brand, through which we deliver improvisational exercises and improvisational training programs. But at the very onset, I can gauge from your faces themselves, what exactly is improvisation, right? What do you mean by improvisation? What do you mean by the term to improvise, right? So the textbook, dictionary, literal meaning of improvisation is the act or art of improvising, to create something out of nothing and to make it all up, right? So when we are delivering improv comedy shows, right? When we're doing shows and when we're performing, so a team of improvisers, they ideally get up onto the stage and they take suggestions from an audience like yours, and then we create stories on the spot, right? So there is no script. It's all in the moment. That is what improv comedy is all about. But there are various techniques and skills that we have to practice to be able to do it, because there's no time, or there's not even at a single moment can we think that, this is wrong. We have to go back and, take that decision later, because ideation is happening very, very quick, right? We don't have the time to be like, okay, fine, I screwed up, I messed up. We all have to be like, okay, fine, I'm an improviser, so I have to start all over again. That is what improv comedy is all about. But what we do is, we leverage the techniques and the skills of theatre and comedy and improv, and we combine them with behavioral aspects of training exercises, and create programs for companies that inherently help their trainees, their participants, their employees to reach the learning aspects of trainings on their own. Right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you through, say, 3 or 4 steps, 3 or 4 skills of improv comedy, improvisation, and then we'll try and sort of translate them into our lives, right? Are you good? Yeah? Sound fun? Sound fun? Give me some nods. Give me some nods. I like the nods. I like this interaction thing, right? So the first skill, rather the most important skill of improv comedy, improvisation, is to say yes. I've been talking for far too long, so what we'll do now is we'll do a very small demonstration, right? Because that's more fun than me talking at you all the time. So at the count of 3, you all have to say yes, alright? 1, 2, 3.
Yes!
Little louder, with a little more speed. 1, 2, 3.
Yes!
And now I'm going to ask you some questions, and I need you to answer to those questions with a simple yes, alright? Do you want to tell a story with me?
Yes!
Is the story about a knight?
Yes!
Is the knight wearing shining armor?
Yes!
Is the knight going to save a damsel?
Yes!
Is the damsel in distress?
Yes!
Is she being held by a dragon?
Yes!
Is the dragon breathing fire?
Yes!
Does the knight save the princess?
Yes!
Do the first rule of improv. Say yes. Agreement. Yeah? Does the knight save the princess?
Yes!
Do they live happily ever after?
Yes!
Right. So we just created a story just by saying yes. Right? We did that. We just did that. And now, because of that little gentleman, we'll do it again, and this time I want you to say no. Alright? Do you want to tell a story with me?
No!
Alright, I'll go back. See, this is the idea of improv. That, a series of yeses, they take you somewhere. But a series of no's, it doesn't even get started. You can have 1,000 yeses in a row, and it only takes 1 no to just push it all down. Right? So that is the power of agreement. And this next step, it's sort of in conjunction with the first one, which is to say and. We all like those yes people who agree to us, who encourage us, who we approach with some ideas, and they're like, yes, we can do this, yes, we can do that. But it's only the and people who we really want to work with. It's only the and people who we really want to connect with, right? Because what happens is, when someone says, yes, we can do this, and I'll help you do it, and we could collaborate on it, and you could help me with it. It takes a collaboration a step further, and then it becomes very cohesive, right? So it's like, I bring a brick, and you bring a brick, and Suresh sir brings a brick, and we pile them on top of each other until we've created something that we could not have managed on our own, right? That is the power of yes and. So essentially, it's not about saying yes and. It's about imbibing that attitude. It's about internalizing the very aspect of radical collaboration to go ahead. That is what yes and does to us all, right? The next skill is to play. This is the very first thing that I touch with corporate executives whenever we have training programs at various companies during the introductions itself. play. Sounds simple, right? We mastered it when we were children. We mastered it when we were kids. But now that we are adults, we lose our sense of play, right? What is the meaning of play? Play means to engage in something just for the joy of it, just because you like it. Because what happens is, this is where, in this moment, play happens. In this moment, everything happens. It all happens in our body. But what happens is, when we're growing older, we start thinking about it a bit too much. We start taking it a bit too seriously, and we get bogged down in analysis paralysis, and it gets up right here in the head, right? And then it turns to work, which is something everyone hates. Everyone hates work. So it's all about going from here to here, getting back into the moment, being observant, and being mindful of everything that's happening around you. Right? So we ought to play, not work, right? And this is the next step. Listen, we've already heard of the phrase that we have 2 ears and 2 eyes and 1 mouth, so we should probably listen and watch twice as much as we speak, right? Right? Not true at all. Most of us, we only listen to be able to respond. Someone is talking at us, but we've already made up our mind about how the conversation ought to pan out or what the conclusion ought to be. That is not listening. That is hearing. My girlfriend, she said this to me. That is why I've written Some Wise Old Woman. She said, after a fight that we had, that Prankur, listening is the willingness to change. If you're not willing to change based on what I'm saying, then you're not really listening. Right? And that's the idea. That's when it struck me that, in every conversation, I don't have to change. But if I'm not willing to change based on what someone is telling me, then I'm not really listening to that person. And that is what improv is all about. When you're collaborating with someone, you have to get your ego about what you believe and what you think out of the way so that you can actually listen to the person in the moment, right? That is when speaking and that is when conversing actually makes a difference, right? So these were, 4 steps because we're running short on time. We have like 10 steps which we deliver in an introduction while we're conducting corporate trainings, wherein we introduce the concept of improv, and then this happens. We combine behavioral programs, behavioral research, and then we devise programs based on a training needs analysis with the HR heads and the L&D heads, and we tailor-make a program for them, and then we involve them in activities which help them reach the learning on their own. Because it's better than me talking at them or better than me taking them through a PowerPoint presentation. That's what experiencing it is all about. Because listening to someone deliver a lecture or a PowerPoint presentation, it's great when you want to introduce an idea. But when you want to imbibe them, right? When you want them to imbibe it and internalize it, you have to make them experience it, right? Because as kids, we all have parents who told us कि बेटा चूल्हे को हाथ मत लगाओ, बेटा प्रेस को हाथ मत लगाओ, हाथ जल जाएगा. हमने फिर भी हाथ लगाया. और जब हमने अपना हाथ जलाया, उसी के बाद समझ आया कि यार नहीं, इस चीज को हाथ नहीं लगाना है. उसके बाद तजुर्बा आया. Exactly, right? So that is what improv does. It makes you experience the learning, but without the burn, right? That is what experiential learning and experiential training is all about, right? And these are some of our services wherein we deliver training programs about corporate creativity, team building, corporate communication and soft skills, and executive leadership, and essentially conflict management, wherein you're required to suspend your judgment, right? And that is what we do. These are some of the services that we offer. Apart from this, this is a recent training program that we delivered at the headquarters of EdgeTech. They're HVAC manufacturers. And our TNA with them basically happened, and the CEO, Mr. Amit Goyal, he told us that role accountability and conflicts between two teams are what you need to address. And we got 8 hours and we delivered a training program about which this is what he had to say. He said the very important aspect of positive messaging is brought to life with many few words. They make the work fun, and it relaxes people and drops their defenses and allows them to learn more quickly. They brought fun, humor, and energy. This session added a completely different dimension to our training exercises, getting our people to their feet and trying out personal effectiveness techniques that they wouldn't previously have known about amidst other sessions on business plans and process trainings. Ensured that we delivered a much more textured and rounded learning experience to the teams, right? So this is a recent testimonial that we got, and these are some of our clients: Orange Mantra, Skillful, EdgeTech, Shrishti Mahila Samaj. So the idea being, ladies and gentlemen, that we take you back to theatre and drama and comedy, and we help you experience some learning. And if you think that I can be of help to your organization, or you think that you can connect me to some people who could, be helpful to us, we should sit down for a cup of coffee. Thank you.
Can you elaborate more on the process that you follow to resolve conflicts?
Right. So why do conflicts happen essentially? Difference of views, right? Difference of opinions, right? And when you no. So basically, the idea is that even if you disagree, agreeing to disagree is also collaboration, as long as intention for both of you is to move forward, right? And that is a space where we help you reach through our trainings.